Good morning, everyone. Kenyatta here. Hello, greetings from Jamaica. I'm sitting here on the land of the Taínos people in Jamaica. And I wanted to come on to share a little bit about somatic practice. I'll be looking off to the side. Just have some notes to remind me the points I like to cover. So welcome. So I wanted to come on to share about the upcoming somatic drop-ins, and the next one is April 23rd, and each month there will be one except for June. So first I would like to talk about what is somatic, because this question came up a few times. So in the word somatic is soma, which means the body. So it's a practice with getting in touch with the body, and really to be able to survey our inner landscape, to listen to the signals of the body, the cues of our body. And of course, with practice, we can learn to honor those cues, learn to respect them, and also learn to honor them. So, so the practices that we normally do are healing practice to help us to reconnect and also create awareness of our body, so we can be aware of our body as we go out our daily life. So for example, I'm sitting here, I'm aware of my sitting position. I'm aware of a bit of flow on this side, a little bit of nervousness in my stomach first time coming on this page. So with the practice, we're able to cultivate these kind of awareness of what's going on in our bodies. And of course, in modern day, we're mainly disconnected from our bodies. Everything's in place to help us to keep disconnected from our bodies. So it is a revolutionary act to be able to come back to our bodies and reclaim the truth of our bodies. And also tap into other intelligence, because their thinking brain can take over, but there's other things about our bodies that is giving us information, such as our sensations, our emotions, images, and so forth. So we get to tap into a bigger intelligence, a bigger part of our being, not just our thinking brain telling us this or that. I'll get into the thinking part a little bit later. So welcome on, everyone. And feel free, if there are questions, you can drop them in the chat, and I'll try to incorporate them. So as we do somatic practices and we get this awareness of our bodies and information for our bodies, we get to start to tap into our own unique body wisdom. And our unique body wisdom is what that can help us to navigate our lives. It helps us to tap into more the truth of our bodies, as well as help to navigate so we can have a bit more joy and happiness in our lives. So what is a somatic drop-in? So somatic practices generally can be done individually, and it also can be done communally. So the drop-ins is a communal practice where we gather and we can benefit from the collective energy, and we also, through others, get to see ourselves, because practice in community, others mirror ourselves, and sometimes someone's experience may be just like ours experience, and that can also help to heal isolation. So the practice that we do in community also helps us to strengthen our muscles of resilience. So we can withstand the ups and downs of life, and be a little more confident as we go through our lives. I have this image of moving with trust and faith. And not just trust and faith that we talk about, but real trust and faith that whatever life brings us is for us, and we can handle it. So we don't have to brace against what's happening or to be fearful of what may come. We can say, okay, then there's something in this for me. This is happening and it can be for me. And, as we go into building that muscles, we can start to use those things that maybe one time you think of as, maybe once upon a time that thing may be like, oh, there may be aversion to it. Then there's a little bit more openness as in, okay, there's something in this for me. It is for me. So imagine being in deep communion in life like that, where each thing that comes is actually, it's going to help us with our growth, move one step forward with our growth and our healing. So why is this important anyways, right? It's important because there is suffering. That's the truth. There are difficulties, there's stress, and sometimes it can be rough. And sometimes, something happens, life event happens, and we don't know what to do. We're lost. So to be able to cultivate our inner landscape, to be able to ground from the inside, and to know that, okay, whatever happens, again, I can work with it. So everything that we need for happiness or well-being is actually inside of us. Maybe you've heard this many times, right? But to be able to cultivate that, so you have that knowing, a deep body knowing that inside of me is everything I need. And as things crop up again, to be able to learn how to utilize them for our own happiness and freedom. Like composting. I like to think of it, I'm a gardener, so I like to think of gardener and farmer. So I like to think about the difficulties of life as a opportunity for composting, making good, rich, black dirt. Also, it's important to cultivate these kind of practices too, because sometimes we unknowingly harm ourselves. The body may be sending signals of SOS, and we can't hear it, and we unknowingly harm ourselves. So, it could be something as simple as like, we bumped our leg, and because of our busy life, we just keep going. But actually, the body needs you to pause for a few seconds or sometimes a minute or two to actually help that pain move through. But if we override and continue, that pain actually gets trapped and blocked in the body. And over time, as we grow, these things can accumulate. Of course, not to mention big stresses like trauma. I'll talk a little bit about somatic practice versus like mindfulness, which is more of mind practice. So the practicing the mind can be tricky. I'm a meditator. I have been meditating for many years and full-time for 8 years when I was in the monastery. And I can tell you, the mind is tricky and it is difficult to navigate, especially if you don't have a mentor. You can actually tie yourself up with the mind. So the body is simple, very simple. The body holds stress, big stress, small stress, like as I mentioned before, and these stresses get trapped. So with somatic practices, we're just helping to the things that are in the body that needs to move through, we help them move through. And now I'm hearing and seeing that in mainstream we talk about that time doesn't heal, and that is so true, because these things can remain trapped in our bodies for a very long time. I know I hear of my grandmother, for example, talking about aches and pains and a lot of things happen in her body. She hasn't had the time to really work through the things that happened to her body and her ancestors' body, and they surface. And especially as you get older, they keep surfacing. So time doesn't heal. And finally, if you have difficulty meditating, You know, there was a point when COVID happened when it was difficult for me to sit. You know, working with the body is always available. So if you can't sit in meditation, you know, working with one thing at a time that's cropping up in your body, exploring it and befriending it could be a way. And it is actually a practice of mindfulness, you know, mindfulness of the body, in the body. So the drop-in spaces is to explore gentle somatic practice. It's not about getting rid of anything, or it's not about you know, some kind of achievement. You know, it's simply cultivating a relationship with your body. And you know, drop-in space helps us to do that, because sometimes, again, if we're on our own, you know, we can only go so far, and sometimes we may just go off and there's no one there to tell you that, hey, come back, you've gone off the path. So in community, we're able to get guidance, as well as learn from the experiences of others. Of course, if you have zero experience, that's okay. The good thing about these spaces is that it caters for a wide range of practitioners, from beginners to, you know, advanced. And curiosity is welcome. Actually, curiosity is very important. So coming into the space, you know, and getting curious about what's there and curious about these practices. And, you know, again, it's a like these practices is, there's nothing really to lose. It's, you know, you try it out or not. You could just come and just be in the background and, you know, just observe what it's all about. That's also okay. Minimal participation is okay. The drop-in sessions, I offer these monthly sessions are free. And again, the benefits of practicing in community is that we get to tap into collective wisdom, as well as the collective energy. Yes, and they also, the space is very intimate, so 5 or so people, 10 people, and of course, if there are more people come, that's also okay. I won't turn anyone away. And if this month drop-in on April 23rd doesn't work for you, that's okay. There's one each month, except for June. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a DM, and I'll stop here for now. Let me know if you have any questions before I log off. I just wanted to come on to share a little bit about somatic practice and also the drop-in. Okay, thank you. I'll thank Pebble Ministry for being on. Thank you so much. I just wanted to also share that at the moment, the offerings I have is for Black and brown bodies. There may be offerings in the future for white bodies, but right now it's just for Black and brown bodies, because what we hold in our body is very unique and it needs its own special space. Yeah. All right. So until next time, I'll try to come on here, and if you have questions, please send them to me, and it will give me an opportunity to come on and share. All right. Bye for now.